Jean-Luc Brunel, a known associate of Jeffrey Epstein, died in a French jail cell on February 19th. Brunel was a well-known talent scout for his modeling agencies. He was in jail facing charges of rape and sex trafficking.
Hey everybody, welcome to True Crime Paranormal with the Psychic Sisters. I'm Christy Brower, here with my sister, co-host, and partner in crime, Katie Weaver. Hey Katie.
Hello.
How's it going?
It's going well.
Glad to hear it,
Yeah.
This is our Wednesday episode, if you can believe it.
I know. This week has gone fast.
It has gone really fast, but you have, as I understand it, a couple of segments for us. They are both WTF segments, and they both have to do with McDonald's.
Yes, I do.
What are the odds?
Well, I don't know. We've all been a little miffed at fast food places before, but this is next level.
This is next level. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to turn the time over to you for WTF News.
Everybody knows the disappointment of ordering what you want at McDonald's or you at Burger King and
Looking at you.
not getting what you ordered in your bag. We've all been there. Hell, we've probably all been there in the last week, if we're honest. But it happens all the time.
Mhm.
Well, apparently, in some cases, this has created a excessive amount of upset, as was the case yesterday in Utah. In Midvale, Utah, a man went to McDonald's with his two children, a 3-year-old and a 4-year-old, little girl and little boy. Father's name is Sadat Shamil Johnson. And Johnson became enraged over an incorrect order and got very, very upset and pulled a gun on staff.
Lord.
Now, I've been a little irritated before about, like not getting zesty sauce or whatever, but it's never occurred to me to pull a gun at the McDonald's,
No. Especially because they don't have zesty sauce at McDonald's.
I know. Can you tell this is what happened to me recently? Okay, whatever. Yeah. I digress. But at any rate, he was mad. He didn't get what he wanted. He had a horrible fit with the employees, had a big scary incident with them, and pulled a gun. So, like any good employees would, they called the police. And the police got there, and they cuffed Mr. Johnson, and were in the process of taking him into custody. Well, unfortunately, he had already taken into account this plan, and he had a backup plan in mind.
Mm.
See, he had given his 4-year-old little boy his firearm and told him to shoot at the police. So the police look up just in time to see a 4-year-old in the back seat with a gun pointed at them. And he did shoot at them, because his dad told him to. And yeah, luckily an officer managed to deflect the gun. He actually ended up with a burn on his arm from gunshot residue, which that shows you how close he was to actually being blown away by a 4-year-old.
Right.
And the bullet ended up getting stuck going through the awning, which again, that could have easily gone through a window.
Right.
Somebody could have been killed or injured by this so easily. Can you imagine giving your 4-year-old a gun and telling him to shoot at the police?
No, I cannot.
I'm guessing Johnson will never see these kids again.
Well, I hope
ever.
Not. For this, my gosh.
Yeah.
Clearly not a safe person for them at all.
Mm-hmm. So obviously, he has been charged with felony child abuse and misdemeanor threat or use of a dangerous weapon. And the children have been taken into Child Protective Services, though they're saying they have had no prior contact with this family before this incident. However, it looks like they just moved to Salt Lake from Atlanta.
Oh, well, they probably better be calling up Atlanta then.
Mm-hmm. So there is a fiance, but she's not the bio mom of the kids, so they are with CPS at this point.
Wow. Poor little kids. My God, they
The
were
officer, oh, it's something. The officer said it's really chilling to think that a 4-year-old knew how to wield the gun. I mean, he knew what he was doing.
He did. He knew how to hold it up and point it and shoot it.
Yeah.
Pull the trigger. Like, God.
Yeah.
Maybe this isn't the first time he's done that.
Yep. Yep. Really, really scary. Yep. So, at any rate, we certainly hope those kids are going to be okay. And frankly, I hope the whole book gets thrown at that dad.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. If there was ever a WTF news story, this would be it.
That would be it, definitely.
Mm-hmm. All righty. Well, I'm going to kick the mic back over to you for our main case.
Yes. Are you familiar with Jean-Luc Brunel?
Yeah.
I know, me too, unfortunately.
Ugh.
This jackass.
Mm-hmm.
So Jean-Luc Brunel, a known associate of Jeffrey Epstein, died in a French jail on the 19th of February. It's not been, the cause of death has not yet been deemed as far as if it was a suicide or not, but it is believed to be a suicide. So let me tell you a little bit about him, because I knew that he was was in jail being investigated for sex trafficking and rape and an associate of Jeffrey Epstein, but that's all I knew.
Mm-hmm.
So Brunel was a model talent scout. And he worked with lots of models in France. He actually discovered some very famous models like Christy Turlington, Sharon Stone, and Mila Jovovich in France. So he also was very well known for being the
Big
Jeffrey
pig.
Epstein of France,
Yeah.
basically participating in sex trafficking, in rape, drugging models in order to, rape them. I mean, like terrible, terrible things.
Yeah.
So this is the bullshit that the reason we're still dealing with this guy, okay? In November of 1999, he was banned from his own modeling agency in Europe because of his inappropriate behavior.
From his own joint.
Yeah. So guess where he moves? The United States.
Well, sure.
And he keeps on working with models because that's what he loves. And he's well known this entire time for being this gross sex offender. And then when he gets to the US, he meets Jeffrey Epstein, and Jeffrey Epstein invests somewhere around $1 million in one of his modeling agencies here.
Well, of course, birds of a feather.
Right, exactly. So he continues doing his model stuff and assaulting people. He has known Ghislaine Maxwell much longer than Epstein. I imagine that's probably how he met Epstein.
Mm-hmm.
He knew her, met her in the 80s. So, of course, he's part of their ring.
Their network, yeah.
Yeah. Virginia Roberts-Giuffre, who, of course, just won her lawsuit against Prince Andrew.
The Andrew formerly known as Prince?
Yeah. Andrew, formerly known as Prince, has accused him of being part of that sex trafficking ring and also of sexually assaulting her.
Mm-hmm.
Many other models have reported it. On 60 Minutes, okay, in 1988, there was a 60 Minutes with Diane Sawyer, and she covered Brunel and all these Parisian modeling agents and what rapists they were, basically.
Mhm.
This was in 1988.
Yeah, 30 plus years ago.
Yeah. And I mean, they talk in there, they have models who testify, basically, still no charges, nothing. And so then he gets, kicked out of Europe.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's quite a lot of countries to be kicked out of. He comes to the US and he just continues his crap. Never gets arrested or anything. And of course is denying it all and blah, 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 blah. But I mean, you cannot show up in pictures with Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein for the last 20 years and then think that you are innocent, because you're freaking not.
Yeah.
So here's what happened. He went into hiding right after Jeffrey Epstein died in August of 2019. Because what happened around that time is Jeffrey Epstein's death basically kicked off this huge international investigation into Jeffrey Epstein's connections. And he knew he was going to be one of them. And he was, so they started looking for him in September of 2019. Searched his home in Paris and, searched his offices and stuff. They didn't actually catch him until December 16th of 2020. So he was on the run more than a year. He was at the Charles de Gaulle airport in Paris, trying to board a flight to Dakar, Senegal. And that's when they arrested him in relation to rape, sexual assault, criminal conspiracy, and human trafficking.
Wow.
Yeah. So he was in custody and remanded for quite a while. And then he was formally indicted in September of 2021 on one count of rape that happened in the 90s.
Wow.
So apparently that's where they thought they could hold him, get him for now until they were working on other stuff.
Yeah.
But I think that he knew the writing was really on the wall, frankly.
Yeah.
Now, his attorneys say that he killed himself because he was experiencing so much injustice. I was like,
I believe he killed himself just about as much as I believe Epstein killed himself.
Right.
Give me a break.
And for injustice, he's been a real Ghislaine Maxwell about being in jail, constantly bitching about the terrible and appalling, conditions he's living in and stuff. And I'm like, you don't deserve even this, frankly.
Yeah.
For the shit that he's done.
He doesn't like a diet solely of Hot Pockets, huh?
Yeah, apparently no. That's what you get, you asshole. And he's gotten away with it for so long. But the thing is, Prince Andrew, formerly Prince Andrew, settled with Virginia Giuffre last week. So he's like the next domino to fall, and he knows it. Like, he's going to go down, just like Ghislaine Maxwell's gone down, just like, Epstein. He literally went into hiding, hadn't been seen publicly since Epstein's death. Like, he knew they were coming after him. So he's dead. I don't know. Darn, like
a good freaking riddance. Yeah. Except it's for this, no, because by God, he deserved to stand
trial
accountable, and it sucks that he got to get out early. But I can't. I can't go there that he even killed himself. This guy was too arrogant. He's done this shit for way too long.
He's gotten away with it for so long. I mean, that expose was done in 1988. 88. That's insane. 40 years ago, and the culture apparently with modeling agencies is that this is really common.
Yep.
And this is really just looked the other way, people,
Yeah.
And I think that he, certainly wasn't prepared to have his real comeuppance for all this. sure he was getting away with it forever. What a creep.
Mm-hmm.
And I am sorry for his victims because, like Jeffrey
Yeah.
Epstein's victims, it just was like no closure,
Yep.
no accountability. It's just over.
Yep.
And that's what some of the models that were to testify against him said. It's like,
Yeah.
we don't get any finality here.
Yep.
It's just over.
He just, gets to go. Ugh.
Yeah.
So disgusting. I am so sick of this crew. Now, but not sick enough that I don't want to know who those 8 names in Maxwell's little black book were.
Right. And I think that we're getting closer and closer
Mm-hmm.
to that being released.
That's the next domino that needs to fall.
Well, Maxwell is not, she's not opposing it anymore.
No.
And now this happens, and Prince Andrew. By the way, I heard, and I don't know if it's true, that the Prince Andrew settlement is $16 million.
Ah.
But I don't think that's kind of like word on the street, because they were never going to say what the settlement amount was.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was interesting. But yeah,
Well,
I mean, are any of these people going to get any actual consequences?
I don't know.
Other
But
than Ghislaine
rock on
Maxwell?
Virginia Giuffre.
Right.
She has been such a rock star.
Yeah.
She's been strong when other people couldn't be. She's really been everything.
She has, and she has been a part of this case as well. And, whether he did this to himself or someone else did it, the writing was on the wall. I mean, he was not getting out. He was not getting away with any of this crap anymore.
Yeah.
None of these people are. But it is, one of the sad parts of this is that the only person that is in prison for this now is a woman.
Yeah.
So far, all the men have managed to avoid prison.
Yep.
That just makes me sick, frankly. I want those other 8 names.
Yeah.
They need to be plastered everywhere. Whoever they are, they deserve whatever comes to them.
Yep.
For the things that they've done. But that's Jean-Luc Brunel. I thought you'd want to know. Thought we should share this because we've covered a lot of the Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell stuff. But at the same time, I'm like, wow, this guy was even grosser than I first thought.
He was, but these girls' story deserves to be told. So
It does, yes. It does. And, at least he can't hurt anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
Something,
That's something. Yep.
So that's Jean-Luc Brunel.
Okay.
Saddened by no one. Okay, but I heard a little rumor that you have yet another WTF McDonald's story for us.
Unbelievably, I do. They are having a rough month. Rumor on the street is that a few years ago, some McDonald's executives sat down for a conversation. I'm assuming over, Cokes and Big Macs, but whatever. And the question was posed: how can we create an obscene amount of stress on our drive-through employees and enrage and entrap twice as many customers as normal? And the decision was made to put in double drive-throughs. So 2 cars can be ordering at once with a long stream of cars behind all of them. The problem is at some point we merge.
Right.
And car A and car B, somebody has to go. This is how it goes at McDonald's. Mm-hmm. And we have all been the recipient of some complete jackass that pulled it right in front of us when it was obviously our turn.
Right.
Well, this happened in California earlier this month. And this lady was not having it today. And apparently kind of lost her shit. And it has created a big stir. She has, made some pretty bad decisions along these lines. This actually happened on February 5th. Mm-hmm. But the Richmond Police Department in California just released her picture a couple of days ago, searching for the suspect. Here she is right here. This is after she got out of her car. This is while she was still in it, screaming at the car in front of her.
Thanks.
What did the car in front of her do? Well, those mofos cut, apparently. She was not having it. So I'm going to tell you what they said. Here's what the Richmond PD says. Richmond PD detectives are requesting our community's assistance to identify the suspect of a violent, unprovoked attack against a mother and her young children. Again, kids, McDonald's. Maybe they're not safe there anymore. I don't know. On Saturday, February 5th, at approximately 12:16 p.m., the victim entered the McDonald's drive-thru with her children in the car. The suspect accused the victim of cutting in line and rammed into the victim's vehicle. Seems excessive, but okay.
Yes.
When the victim got out of the car, because there was a crazy person behind her ramming her, so she got out of the car. Maybe not the best decision, in my humble opinion, but the suspect drove directly towards her, hit her, and drug her across the parking lot for 150 feet before stopping. Then this crazy woman got out of the car and punched her in the face several times, and then leapt back in her car and fled the scene. Without her Big Mac, no chicken nuggets, nothing.
Right? She did all this and then didn't get her food.
And then just drove away, and
How was this? Oh my God.
Right? And they still don't know who she is.
Lord.
There is a 2-minute video of the attack on Instagram. We're not going to show it here because we don't want YouTube to kick us off, but you can go find it over there if you'd like to see it. It is super unhinged. I mean, if somebody cuts in front of you, you flip them off like a regular person and you go on with your day.
Right.
You don't grab them with your car, for Christ's sake, and drive them across the parking lot and punch them in the face.
No, I mean, how badly is this woman hurt?
They don't say, actually. I would imagine she's hurt,
Well, yeah.
In the video, when all the ramming and screaming is going on, you hear her repeatedly telling the lady, I have children in the car. You have to stop. I have children in the car. That she didn't care. She keeps screaming at her, then you shouldn't have cut. Hard yikes. Yeah.
I mean, we have a coffee hut here that I love that has one of these stupid drive-ups.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate it because you do get cut. And I frequently go bumper to bumper with the car in front of me to make sure I don't get cut because it pisses me off. But even when I have gotten cut, I have not ever tried to kill the person who cut in front of me.
That's pretty extreme.
Wow.
So the big sins at McDonald's that have caused people to, commit felonies this week or this month have been cutting in line and McDonald's employees giving you the wrong food.
I mean, McDonald's employees, I'm sorry for all this. You do not get paid enough to put up with this bullshit.
You definitely don't get paid enough for this, nor does really anyone. So if you're going to McDonald's, gird your loins. Also, don't do crazy shit at McDonald's if you wouldn't mind. Yeah. So we don't have to do another one of these. Right. But there you go. There's WTF News.
Well, I love it. I don't know.
I'm
interesting.
Astonished by it.
People are feeling a little off this week. Let's just say, or this year, this century, maybe.
Yeah. Yes.
Something like that. Anyway,
at least this decade. I think we can safely say that. Yeah.
Well, I think we can safely say that. Yes. Well, friends, this is our Wednesday episode. We will be back tonight with our Wednesday night case updates. Tons of case updates, lots of interesting stuff happening. And then we will be back, of course, on Thursday with our live stream. This is the Psychic Hour, and our live streams are always at 7 p.m. Mountain. We live stream on YouTube and Facebook, and then, of course, you can watch or listen to the show after the fact as well.
Yep.
So you all know it. We are True Crime Paranormal with the Psychic Sisters. Thanks for being here.
Take care.